As a psychology major, I have learned about many topics that focus on people's interactions with one another. One of these interactions is social influence, which results in conformity. I'm going to be using one of my all-time favorite movies, Mean Girls, to show representations of girls conforming in the high school settings. Conformity is the change in beliefs, opinions, or behaviors as a result of one's perceptions about what others believe. Erikson's theory of development says teen years is the time in which a person searches for their place in the world. That being said, conformity is very common within teenagers because they are trying out many different identities. When talking about conformity, three things should be considered: the explanations of conformity, the influences of conformity, and the contributing factors of conformity. These things are very important in understanding why people conform to social norms constructed by groups or people in their environments. There are two reasons for which a person may conform: informational or normative. Informational conformity is when a person lacks knowledge, so they look to groups or people for information. Normative conformity is when a person begins adopting beliefs or behaviors of a group or person in order to be liked by that group or that person. Katie displays informational conformity when she looks to her new friends Janice and Damien to inform her on the expectations of public school since she's been homeschooled her whole life. Janice gives her the lowdown on the cliques in the school and stresses the importance of finding which clique she belongs to and sticking to it. When one is expressing normative conformity, their change in beliefs or behaviors is public, not private. We see Katie on the first day of school talking about how she is good at math. However, once she starts to like Aaron, she changes in order to get his attention and then begins to fail math tests on purpose. Conformity occurs when a person looks to others for norms. These are your influences. Majority influence is when the beliefs or behaviors of a large group prevail, and minority influences is when the beliefs or behaviors of a small number of individuals or just one person prevail. The biggest representation of majority influence in this movie is that of the plastics on Katie. After meeting the plastics, Katie learns all of their rules and must follow them in order to keep her acceptance within the group. One of these rules is wearing pink on Wednesdays. Regina George is the main minority influence in Mean Girls. Throughout the movie, you see that whatever she does or says always overpowers others. She has an influence on almost every girl in the school because she is the one setting standards for what's cool. Even when she doesn't plan on it, she still has an influence on them. Social power is the ability for a person or a group to create conformity. We see social power in both the majority and minority influence in the movie Mean Girls. Two factors that can contribute to the social power are social status of the person or group and the consistency of the group or person's beliefs. Most girls in the school are trying to climb the social ladder, and in trying to do so, they conform to the behaviors of the plastics, who are considered the most popular girls in school. Consistency in the group is shown when Regina wears sweatpants on a day other than Friday, and the rest of the group tells her that she cannot sit with them. Not everyone conforms to social norms, though, but rather some people reject them. These people are referred to as anti-conformists, or in the movie, Janice and Damien. They do their own thing regardless of what others think, just like Janice wearing a tuxedo to spring fling instead of a dress like all of the other girls. Conformity can have both positive and negative outcomes. In Mean Girls, we see mostly negative outcomes, either when one feels that they cannot express their own ideas if they don't match that of the group, like Gretchen when she doesn't speak up about liking hoop earrings, or bullying for both conformists and anti-conformists. Since conformity is so common in adolescence, it is important for educators to know how to effectively address these negative outcomes, like Miss Norbury did when addressing the burn book and bullying that was causing issues in the girls' lives within the high school and outside of the high school. Mean Girls accurately portrays conformity in high school by using girls and their desire to fit in. I believe it does a good job at the end sending the message to teens that it isn't all about looks and status. Everyone lets go of the social norms and just focuses on themselves, and in doing so, they all seem to find their true identity.